What's good, everybody? My name is Joshua McLean, and welcome to the Sew Rogan Experience. Oh boy, I'm excited for this episode. I've been wanting to do this podcast for a long time. You guys know that. And I've got a whole list of people right up at the tippy top, right below mom. Sorry, Nina, you'll understand. Was Nina Clotfelter. So I'm going to bring Nina on and let's just get the show going. I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk to not only Nina, but let you guys hear from Nina herself. So welcome, Nina.
Hey, thank you for having me. And no, I'm not
Absolutely.
by having mom first.
Okay, cool. Well, I had mom on because I was like, I've got to talk about myself a little bit, but I didn't want to do it. So I just put her on and let her do it for me.
That's
So
funny.
it
Moms
worked.
like to brag.
Yeah. So, okay, I have known you for it feels like a couple of years now, and what I'd like you to do though is kind of introduce yourself and tell people kind of how are you involved in this industry. Yeah, you got to talk about yourself for just a minute.
Where's my mom?
Yeah, Ma,
Ma.
that's good.
I'm Nina Clotfelter. I have been sewing my entire life. I've started when I was 12 and never really took official sewing lessons. Kind of got caught in my parents' divorce, but I bought my first sewing machine and I still have the cabinet. But I learned how to sew by reading the patterns, figuring it out, and I made all my clothes. Well, a lot of my clothes. I made all my
Self-taught.
prom dresses. Yeah. I've done alterations for 30 years. I just stopped doing alterations in January.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yes. Something had to give. I travel all over the US and I teach quilting, whether it be to guilds or in shops. And that has taken off so much that something had to give. So I'm no longer doing alterations. And it was time. I did it for 30 years.
Yeah.
It was time. But the quilting it's kind of like making your own clothes. To me, it is. I loved making my own. Well, I still kind of do.
You do. Yeah.
But you can change the fabrics and you can tweak a pattern and you can make it your very own, even with adding, just a surprise element of a color. But when I discovered the free motion quilting part
Yeah.
of quilting, ah, that is my world. That is where I belong. My life was set straight. I mean,
Changed.
it's just that's where I live. I love the free motion quilting and what you can do with it. All the threads. Oh my gosh, I love thread.
Yeah. All right, and I'm gonna interrupt you for a second because I'll
Yeah.
toot your horn. So that's Nina came and taught. I think it was a 3 day, or so she taught at our shop here in Palm Coast, and so that was my first time really getting to be around Nina in the classroom setting as she was teaching, and immediately it was very obvious that she is passionate, and you said, you can always add those surprise. You basically put your own little flair on
Mhm.
everything you do, and it's
I,
super infectious. And we've had you back to the shop, and we're going to keep having you back to the shop over and over again. So I am also very glad you're not doing alterations, so you can spend more time. And honestly, doing it, it's obvious you love teaching,
I
and
love
being
it.
around students, and
Hmm.
not only helping them, but also seeing what they come up with and getting ideas and feeding off of them. It's obviously a give and take, and it's really
It,
cool to watch and be a part of. Yeah.
well, thank you. It's
Yeah.
I've taught sewing construction for many years. I had my own sewing school in my home. Had a wait list that I could always put a class together no matter when at any time.
Yeah.
Um, and it that morphed into quilting, which it's a little different, because it's more of a traveling thing, which I don't mind. My kids are grown. It's not a problem. And I
Yeah.
love traveling and meeting new people and going to different places. It's just been a lot of fun. And you're absolutely right, though. Sharing my passion is the joy. And seeing that light bulb moment of somebody, oh, and I get this question, I've taken so many free motion quilting classes and nothing really clicks. And I don't know what I do differently than other people, but a lot of the time it clicks in my class. And I don't know what it is that is different about my classes, but it's
well, it's something for sure. And it does click. And I watched it happen with so many students, even with me. And I enjoy free motion and doing the art quilting side of things. But every time that I hear you or even see a piece of your artwork, I go, ooh, it gives me ideas and I'm inspired. And I think it's just your approach, and you're not saying you have to do it my way.
no.
Like, oh, that's interesting the way you're doing that. You can try this because maybe this will help you. But truthfully, as long as you like the outcome, technically you're doing it right. And you're very supportive in that way.
Absolutely. I'm very much aware that, and I apologize if you can hear all the banging in the background. I'm having my doors totally taken out. But I was one of those round pegs they were trying to put in a square hole, or is it vice versa? In school,
Whichever.
And I never really plugged in because I learned different than your tradition. I'm a visual learner. Well, that's not what they teach in school. I can read, but reading a textbook was never my thing, which I guess it's none of our thing really in school.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm very much aware of that situation. We all learn differently and our brains work differently. So just because I tell you to go right and you naturally go left, that's what you need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of the reason the light bulb, oh, it's okay that I'm doing it this way, but I see the technique that this makes my life easier even though I'm doing it my way, you've helped me see.
Exactly.
So
yeah, you get the same end result, but it just goes a little bit different to get there. And it's no different than being right-handed or left-handed.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
That's what, because you can relate to everybody. So, all right. So I got some hard-hitting questions. Are you ready? So I kind of told you, I gave you the questions. You're like, I forgot what they were. It doesn't matter. Well, and I understand. So my first question is pretty simple, but it can be taken a couple of ways. You still with me?
I'm with you.
Okay.
Am I here?
You're frozen, but I can hear you, so no worries. Now you're back. Hey, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's what editing is for. Okay. If I can figure out how to do it. If not, hey.
You'll figure it out.
We need to be real anyway. No. Okay, so this sewing industry is amazing, as you know. It's super easy to get excited about it when you are in it. So there are so many people that have no idea that people still sew to the level that that you and people I'm surrounded with sew. Also, this is an old industry. So my question is this: how do we create a new generation of sewer / how do we get non-sewers excited about sewing?
I think we need to cater to them a little more, like making cute bags or little zipper things, and that instant gratification. They can make something like this and have it done in just the afternoon, and they've learned a lot, and they've put in a zipper very simply, and they've but at the end, and it doesn't have to be quilted like this. This is just from a ruler work sample, but they could do a pretty fabric and have a nice little makeup bag, travel bag, and it's quick.
Instant gratification.
And it's instant. Our younger generation is so used to McDonald's, Burger King. It's that instant gratification. And if they get that in a day project, half a day project, I think that they will start to enjoy it and get hooked. Or, make a baby quilt, a simple baby quilt. It doesn't have to be a queen or a king, just a little baby quilt. Donate it. It doesn't have to go to somebody the the hospitals and the police and the fire trucks
Yeah,
all have
Project Linus, and there's so many
that's
there's so
right,
many organizations that
right.
would
That's right.
love to have your
Absolutely.
donation. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Oh, I love it. That's a great look, just instant gratification. You're so right. My 5-year-old, I can't get him to watch a movie with me because it's YouTube and TikTok. I mean, he's not on TikTok. I'm not a horrible parent, all right. But
no,
the YouTube, it's that 15-minute, and then my attention span is gone.
right.
So that's a really good point.
Well, and I don't remember what your other questions were, and I might be jumping ahead, but the other thing that I think is really crucial for anybody, younger or older, when you're quilting or making clothes, whatever you're doing, whether you're piecing, free motion quilting, making tops or shorts, doesn't matter. You have to let go of the perfectionism. I am a 27-year recovering perfectionist. When my daughter was 5, she gave me this answer. I tried very hard never to use that word, perfect, that P word, and I must have used it. And man, she looked at me, never missed a beat. But mommy, I can't walk on water. Oh, well, neither
Oh,
can I. So I've worked really hard at leaving those imperfections in my quilt. It's okay because nobody's going to notice them. And the next thing is you don't point them out.
so this is amazing. Couple things. This morning we did a Quilt Talk Live, and we were going over our pet peeves, and mine was stop pointing out your flaws before,
Yeah,
because
nobody
we're
will.
our own worst critic. Nobody else saw it, but
That's right.
yeah, you're right. Don't get rid of being a perfectionist.
It's
Perfectionist.
hard.
But it is. In fact, I wrote that down because I'm super guilty. And step one is admitting you have a problem. So
Yeah,
I'm on my way.
right. When a 5-year-old says that to you, I was like, oh my gosh. And I really have worked hard on it. My first instinct is to take something out. But now, and I teach this in class, if you've made a mistake, if you haven't stayed on that line, just keep on going and don't make that jog back. Just
Yeah.
keep it a smooth line, and people won't know that it wasn't done intentionally.
Nobody will see it. Exactly. Nobody will
Exactly.
know that you didn't mean to do it. That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Well,
And your eye doesn't gravitate towards those things. It gravitates at the whole picture, and those couple things won't show up.
amen. And actually, literally, that was question number 2. What advice or tips can you give to sew?
Right?
You just did it. So that's pure
Yeah.
gold. I
That
mean, seriously. And sometimes something so obvious, we forget. So we need to hear that. People
well,
need to be reminded of that.
and we do want things to be right.
Sure.
And nothing against you, Josh, but women, I think, have that perfectionism all from childhood and growing up. We have to keep a clean house. We have to have dinner on the table. We have to, all this stuff has to be just right, just right, just right. And it just builds that in our head that we need to be perfect. We are human beings. We are not perfect. I am not perfect. And life happens. This whole situation I'm in right now is because somebody made a mistake. So my subfloors are all being taken off. Somebody made a mistake. We all make mistakes.
Yep, sure do.
And I just go, oh, my humanism showed again. Okay.
Yeah. And hopefully we learn from those mistakes and we grow. Use it
And
as an opportunity.
major.
But true.
Right.
True.
So, but yeah.
And if you make a mistake, own it, but don't point it out to everybody on your quilt.
No. No. And
use it as a teaching moment.
Washed, nobody sees them anyway.
That's exactly right. Perfect. Happy little accidents. Thank you, Bob Ross.
It was made with love and given with love. And that's the most important thing. Whether it's donated or given to a loved one, it is made with love and given with love, and it will be enjoyed.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. Awesome. So, okay. Question technically number 3. And this is one that I am so curious about because I have not technically been in the industry that long. I've been in the industry, I'd say, for 8 years, which I guess is a long time, but this is an old industry though.
Yeah, it is.
And so I'm constantly still learning. Where do you see this industry, the sewing industry? And by the way, the sewing terminology is very broad. So I'm not just talking about quilting. Sewing industry in general could be hand sewing, embroidery, garment sewing, you name it. So we're going to say the sewing industry. And where do you think it'll be in 10 years?
The sewing / quilting industry is one that I don't think will ever die. As we get older, my generation, we keep thinking, oh, there's no younger ones coming up. But there are. And we are all creative. And being able to express our creativity, whether it's making your own prom dresses or making a top or making a pair of shorts or making a baby quilt or doing the hand embroidery. Sue Spargo does a lot of that, the wool and the hand embroidery.
It's incredible.
Paper piecing. It's all part of it. And there's so many different aspects that just because you don't want to do the handwork doesn't mean that, oh, you can't see my machine. I have a machine, machine right here, ready for class tomorrow. Sewing machines are really an amazing thing, and they can be simple. You don't have to get something complicated. It has to be, it's like a sewing machine is like buying a car. You have to like it, and it has to make sense to you. So, test drive the sewing machines, get the one that works for you, and then you will enjoy the process of sewing, quilting, and all the different aspects of sewing. And it changes, your interest changes.
Yeah.
So
you don't think it's going anywhere?
I don't. There's so many aspects to this, and I was going to preface that. I know I kind of went off on a bunny trail, but because of all these different avenues and the different techniques and all these different things you can do with sewing and quilting, handwork, it's all yarn, knitting, crocheting. It's all kind of in this same creative bracket. It's not going anywhere. It's not.
That I agree with you, by the way. And I the reason what prompted this question is a lot of it is the technology. We're living in the future, 2024. These machines are crazy. So what's going to happen? Is it going to be all robots? But I think more of anything, what prompted it more than anything was that people say, well, it's a dying art. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, art's not going anywhere. Now, yes, quilting to a non-sewer, a non-quilter, someone who hasn't been in the industry and seen the fabric that people are using now, they picture their grandma sitting in the corner hand sewing a blanket.
Right.
It's not that anymore necessarily. And so to those people, that's why this question, and hearing from people like you,
right,
it's not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Look what we're doing.
Right.
I'm 46 years old, and it's going to be handed down, and people are going to get more creative, in my opinion, and more fun.
And technology is, especially since COVID, we would never have been doing this.
Right. True.
So technology really has taken off a lot. Like tomorrow I'm teaching a beginning free motion quilting on Zoom.
Virtual education.
Virtually.
Yeah. And people are comfortable with it now. People that weren't comfortable are now comfortable.
Well, there's still some people that don't want to do the Zoom or the virtual classes. And I get it.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I've taught these classes so much and for so long that I can look at what you've done when you show it to me, and I can ask you some questions, and I can figure out what happened and how to guide you. But not everybody can do that. And every teacher kind of treats the virtual learning a little differently. Some of them they give you an assignment, and then they sit here and they knit.
Right.
And I know several that do that. I don't do that.
That's not you. Yeah, no, that's not you.
You know me. I do it even in a live in-person class. I'm walking around constantly checking on people. I do the same thing in Zoom. I highlight Joshua. Hey, Joshua, how's it going? You have any questions? And if you do, everybody gets to hear it, and everybody hears the answer too. So
It's great, except for this little mistake I just made right here.
Right. Well, let me help you. This is probably what happened, and this is how you could avoid
Right.
that. This is how you can get out of that.
Yeah.
So, but there's pros and cons to it all. And it's not that one is better than the other, but technology really has made its place in the sewing quilting industry.
Yeah. It tripled this industry. I mean,
Oh,
it really did.
mhm.
And this industry, I agree with you. It's not going anywhere. I imagine down the road, someone will say, I'm concerned about the future of this industry because they see maybe so many quilt shops closing, but what
Yeah.
they don't see is so many quilt shops opening, so many
Right.
sewing shops opening, so many
Well,
people starting virtual classes and
yeah. So I know that you are a shop owner, and I'm
Mhm.
going to say this so that everybody hears it. It's not necessarily just for you.
Sure.
And I say this in all my classes because I live in Mobile, Alabama. We do not have a quilt shop.
Mm.
We have closed two that I know of. And I know that you can get things online. You can see the pictures, you can't feel it, you can't touch it, and that person has no idea who you are
Yeah.
online. Going into a shop, and I'm going to say this to everybody, whether it's a sewing shop, a quilt shop, a yarn shop, whatever it is that your thing is, please support your local shops, because if we don't support them, they will close. I know you can get it for $1 less online, whatever. But you still have to pay shipping. It's the same as tax.
Yeah.
Please support your local shops. You, Joshua, have done an amazing job with Cut Up and Sew, and I am
Thank you.
so envious. I wish that we were much closer, but I'm thrilled to be coming to your shop maybe twice a year, 3 times a year.
Absolutely.
Um,
Thank you, by the way.
oh,
And
you
I
have
and I agree. And I actually say it all the time, even when I make my little videos.
yeah,
Sure, I'm talking about my shop because I want people to come see us, but go get support, get help, get to know your local
mhm,
shops,
absolutely
support local business. Thank you for bringing it up.
support that.
Amen across the board. Even if I wasn't a shop owner, I would tell you to support local
Mhm,
business. Because we want to support local business, but also you're right, touching it, feeling it. And when you purchase these machines or patterns and things and you have questions, who's there to support you? You need to make
right.
sure you like the people that are near you, and if you
You're
don't,
going
find
back to
somebody
that
that you do.
shop.
Yeah,
You're going
right.
back to that shop and you're going to say, hey, can you help me with this? And guess what? Joshua or Tony or whoever else you have in there, they're going to say, sure, give me just a minute and we'll sit down and we'll walk through this. Or,
Yep.
we have a bag class coming up. Or,
Yeah, that's
you
exactly
have,
right. And truthfully, if that shop, if you're the closest shop to you doesn't help you and give you that warm fuzzy feeling, now you can call me. No, no, then you go and find one that does because you
yeah,
deserve that. Truthfully, you're
yes.
making an investment in your passion, your hobby, your time, your money.
Hmm.
So find somebody that's taking care of you. But I'm telling you, across the country, there are
Yeah,
so many local shops that will
ab-
totally treat you awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try it. I want people to have fun with this, and I thought, you know what? I'm curious about a few things, so we're going to do a little speed round. Really
Okay.
has nothing to do with sewing,
Okay.
but I just think it's going to be fun for me. More if nobody else likes it, I do. So here we go. All right,
That's all
what's
right.
your favorite color?
Pink. All of them. I like all
All of
colors.
the colors. If you
But
had
pink.
to choose one, pink. Okay. Favorite brand of machine? Obviously, I'm not biased.
Uh, Baby lock is what I have right now.
Okay,
And
fantastic. Yeah, well, I'm curious about all the answers because I've pretty much sold all of them, and
mm-hmm.
I have certain reasons that I like different brands. So I'm kind of
Yep.
curious. After,
I
oh,
had
go
a
ahead.
brother and I loved it and I sold it and I bought a different brand. We just never became besties, so I'm selling that machine and I now have a baby lock and I love it.
Woo,
Baby
woo.
lock and brother are kind of sister companies, aren't they?
Yeah, one's blue, one's gold. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me, baby lock and brother. But no, you're right, and that's why you like the baby lock because you like the brother.
Yeah, I
Totally.
do love that.
Okay, favorite band, or if you don't have a favorite band, type of music.
Light rock or Christian?
Do you have a favorite band? Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I listen to
Okay.
them.
Desert island movie. This is the most important question of the entire episode. Favorite movie, desert island movie.
Trying to think of the name of it.
Are you a big movie watcher?
I love movies.
Okay.
Holiday. It's
Holiday.
Holiday Date. Oh, gee whiz! You just
I stumped you with that one.
yes, you did.
Holiday date movie.
No,
Is it a Christmas movie?
It is. Well, it's under the Christmas movies because it is around Christmas time. But it's
What's your okay? So what's your favorite holiday? That wasn't on my list, but
Halloween. I love
that's the right answer. That's why we get along, by the way.
We sit on the front porch and we just watch the kids walk around the neighborhood, and we hand them I usually give out the little mini microwave popcorn things.
Nice.
That's what I give out. I don't give out candy.
That's really nice, actually. Whoa, that's good. Okay, so if you think of the name of that movie, you can text me later, and I'll put it in the little comments or something below. Okay, now
over my face.
Exactly. How can people find you if they want to take a class from Nina Clotfelter or get inspired by you? If they're not in the shop when you happen to be there, how can they find you?
I have a website. It is www.ninaquilts with an S at the end, ninaquilts.com.
Awesome. And it's a fantastic website. It's actually very easy it's user friendly, but it makes sense because you said when I first met you, go to the website, see what class is. And I get that a lot. And I'm like, oh boy, this is a hot mess. I can't. So it's a wonderful website, and you offer a lot. I mean, you do offer a lot. So it's really cool that it's user friendly and easy to see what all you offer. And if anyone gets a chance to take a class with Nina, either virtually or in person, do it. And I'm not just saying that because she's looking at me. I would say that if she wasn't. And I do say it all the time, by the way. It's phenomenal. And I love what you're doing. And I love that you get to spend more time doing what you clearly love.
Oh, I love it.
It's just fantastic.
I love it.
The last thing I had, and you've already kind of said it, but is there anything that you would like to share? Anything coming up that maybe we should be looking out for? I know you're doing a class tomorrow, but
I will be teaching at Houston Quilt Festival this year. There's a couple of different classes this year. It's beginning free motion, beginning ruler work, and then English paper piecing and fussy cutting for English paper piecing. Now, those 4 classes I've taught for years at Houston, and they all sell out.
Nice.
So the fussy cutting.
Sign up early.
Yes. The English paper piecing and fussy cutting for English paper piecing is it's a lot of fun.
I bet it is.
2 new classes. One is that thread lecture that I did at your place.
It's amazing.
Lecture demo. So it's going to be a 3-hour class. Just lots of demos on how to work with these difficult threads or threads that kind of scare us. They're not difficult. We just have to know where to tweak.
Let me see if I can get it right. Everything you didn't know you needed to know about thread.
Yep. Everything you
need
to know about thread. Exactly. That's how I explain that.
It only took me 10 times.
Full of information.
Yeah. It's a wonderful lecture, and it is a lot of information, but it answers so many questions, and kind of just, you can see people go, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good. I love that color. I can use it now.
Exactly. And doing it as the lecture demo, it allows all the questions to be answered, and there's plenty of time. So I love doing it that way. And then there's another class I'm doing for the first time. Well, I did it last year, but we've opened it up to more people, and it's how do I quilt this now? And I asked people to bring a quilt top. I'm not going to get to every one of the quilt tops this year though, but I'll get to some of them, and just one per person. I'll get to about 25 of them probably in a 3-hour class. And I'm just winging it. I haven't seen these tops, and how would I quilt this? And I draw on a piece of vinyl, and you can take a picture with your camera, your phone, and you have some ideas. So, and
How
it's
cool is that?
a lot of fun last year. It was a small group, and I mean, it sold out, but only 30 people.
Oh,
Um,
that's great. We might
but
have to have that at Cut Up and Sew at some point.
yeah, it's
After Chop It Like It's Hot.
oh, chop it like it's hot. I love that class. Yes.
Yeah. Go to
Yep.
her website and see. It's fantastic. It's
Well,
so
I
Nina
love
and
all
so
my
artsy and
classes,
fun and yeah.
but that one's
It's
fun. That class it's one of those rare classes. You cannot do anything to mess that up. You learn a lot about your sewing machine, about yourself, and you learn all these fun techniques, and you make a beautiful piece of art. It
yeah,
is
it's
such a
awesome.
great, and it's
I'm
relaxed.
excited. I'm
There's
excited.
there's not there's not a whole lot of pressure, and most people walk away with their piece complete. If you're a slow sewer and quilter, then but you will know how to finish it. You'll be almost done, and
Yeah.
you'll finish it when you get home. That one's a lot of fun.
I'm excited. I
Yes.
cannot wait to have you back. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I tried to keep it under 30 minutes. That's pretty close. Not bad. I
Okay.
gotta say. We're
Okay.
30 minutes and some change. So Nina,
All right.
seriously, thank you. It's always awesome to not only talk to you, but just hear from you, and your perspective on things is, as always, positive and uplifting. And I love it. Thanks for hanging out with me. And we'll see you soon. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm saying soon. I'm already excited for October and Halloween.
I
So
am
I'm saying
too.
soon.
I can't
Good
wait.
luck with the house, by the way. Stay optimistic and just know everything's going to be gorgeous and new when they're done.
It's going to be beautiful when it's done. Yep.
That's right. You're awesome, Nina. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Josh.
We'll see you soon.
All
Nina Clotfelter. One more time, the website, though. Nina Quilts.
www.ninaquilts.com.
That's what I
There's
thought.
Nina Quilts. There's an S on the end. .com.
Nina Quilts. You got it. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Nina. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Bye. My pleasure.